This is a special report. The United States has expanded its aggressive effort to control oil flows in the Western Hemisphere, seizing a Russian-flagged oil tanker linked to Venezuela in international waters. The move marks the latest escalation in President Donald Trump's strategy to pressure Venezuela's socialist leadership and reshape the country's energy sector under U.S. authority. The seizure comes as Washington continues enforcing a maritime blockade against sanctioned Venezuelan oil shipments, raising tensions with Russia, drawing condemnation from China, and unsettling allies across the globe. According to U.S. officials, American forces boarded and seized the tanker Marinera in the Atlantic Ocean on Wednesday. The vessel, previously known as the Bella, had been linked to Venezuelan oil transport and had recently changed its registration to sail under a Russian flag. U.S. authorities stated that the tanker had previously refused boarding during an encounter last month and had attempted to evade sanctions enforcement. Although the vessel was empty at the time of seizure, Washington maintains that it has been used to transport Venezuelan oil subject to U.S. sanctions. The operation involved the U.S. Coast Guard and U.S. military specials and was carried out with support from Britain's Royal Air Force and a British military Royal Air Force and a Britain's Royal Airess Royal. Ephesast bedest. Bellis metament bessis millis metas bellis mel betasis with pisalexid with a big sex bepelis up with barbiganu cup me inquipa up minis up out with app house up as we gluk but a hap with la hap with the mud we ca at the core hap work min with a hap alaf with that fort tobacco esque core up left of best because it's scap with that static whiskers that's British Defence Secretary John Healey confirmed the United Kingdom's participation, describing it as part of broader international efforts to combat sanctions violations. Images broadcast by Russian state media showed a helicopter hovering over the tanker as U.S. forces began the boarding operation. This latest action follows a series of recent maritime interceptions. U.S. officials confirmed that American forces also intercepted another tanker carrying Venezuelan oil, the Panama-flagged M. Sofia, near the northeastern coast of South America. That vessel was fully loaded, according to records from Venezuela's state oil company, PDVSA. The interscoring Washington's intensivoring Sention PDISSAID, the interscoring, underscoring wascore on core scoring wixik score guoksak wikports wixil and with core with or self or for work with quizzer wick with war hard hacks mipa hack up stuff better taba hack with afboas hapra gahaka fab gospeka katapa fat deck with ghosts at disturbed score disgusted force dogs disgusted smooth located if Peter but that must be expressed notice. These developments come days after a dramatic U.S. operation in Caracas that resulted in the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Maduro was apprehended during an attack on the Venezuelan capital on Saturday and subsequently transported to the United States. Washington has characterized Maduro as a drug trafficking dictator aligned with U.S. adversaries. Maduro pleaded not guilty this week to narcotics charges in a federal court in New York, where he appeared in prison attire and restraints. Despite Maduro's arrest, his Socialist Party allies remain in control of Venezuela's government. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez has assumed a central role in navigating relations with Washington, balancing public denunciations of what she described as Maduro's kidnapping with efforts to initiate cooperation under direct pressure from the Trump administration. U.S. officials have warned Venezuelan leaders that failure to cooperate could result in consequences similar to those faced by Maduro. The Trump administration has made clear that it intends to strictly control maritime energy transport associated with Venezuela. In a public statement posted on social media, said that only energy shipments consistent with American law and national security with STEF, it is at Beckety weighted law, it is seputi with Sekichin. Kimisacunid with any kisacumid with the any secupicu quith skinik. Prince it's implare with click, kinid, wickets a kinid. with and within with it, without sweat, effort, without with that lucid sack. Mick act at Smith would whip a aka huck up at sakak arts at the sapa aka list cat kept up back messos so carcass most porous but skedads mittelots lupus was busk this because for the better give it to get this sport statistical skill. He added that the Venezuelan energy sector could unlock what he described as unlimited economic potential through commercial arrangements authorized by the United States. The seizure took place after a 2-week pursuit in the Atlantic Ocean and occurred with Russian naval assets reportedly operating nearby, including a submarine and other vessels. The presence of Russian forces heightened the risk of confrontation, as Moscow has already condemned U.S. actions related to Venezuela and remains in conflict with Western nations over the war in Ukraine.